Hey everybody, welcome back to Phenomenal Flicks. Today we're going to be talking about one of my summer's favorites, The Kissing Booth, and I want to talk to you about whether it makes me a bad feminist that I am so into this movie.
She's a girl with opinions, she's not afraid to admit. She's phenomenal, Bridget, with phenomenal flicks.
So here are my thoughts. This movie gave me all the feels. Not only did it crush on the cliches of everything relating to rom-coms, especially teen rom-coms. You have the hot guy, and he's the one that she shouldn't date, but then she dates him anyways because she falls in love, but they hide their romance because they shouldn't be dating. But then everyone at the end magically comes around. I was on board for it all. They had the 360 kiss cam. They had some ridiculous things that were bursting because they were kissing for the first time. They were laughing. My heart swelled. I squeed. I was like, "Eee, this is the best movie of all time." However, there were some real problems with the story dealing with the assault that the character has on the first day of school and some of the other big problems that I had with it. And I found myself after the movie thinking, let's watch it again, which I did. Again, loved this movie. But also thinking, should I be watching this again? And what does it say about me as a feminist and someone who believes in the sanctity of a woman's body being her own and that there should be consequences for actions that I actually love this movie so much? So let's take a quick dive into it. So at the beginning, you have this beautiful montage. It's 4 minutes long. Montages, you know what? They make every movie. Every rom-com has a montage. Every sports movie has a montage. Every fighting movie has a montage. Every action movie has a montage of them gearing up. And I think that they are some of the most important and most memorable moments in movies. Has anyone seen Rocky IV? I mean, that's the montage to end all montages. The opening 4 minutes really establishes her friendship with Glee, how they're best buddies, how they're the cutest. They can do no wrong. Dance Dance Revolution as an addition from the book, as their sort of through line of their friendship, I thought was brilliant. Visually, it's fun to watch them dance. Watching the little kids of their different ages dance was really fun. Who doesn't like dancing and great music? So I was on board for it. The problem was right in the first opening. It's the last day of summer, so I'm going to just throw out a healthy late August on this timeline. The last day of summer, she's laying by the pool. Glee jumps in and splashes her, and this is the moment when I fell in love with the movie because she doesn't go oh my god, you're getting my clothes wet. That was the moment when I was like, Joey King for president, Elle for life, Elle and Lee are best buds. I totally got it. Loved their friendship. And then, of course, in slow motion, Noah walks across the stage. And I, like everyone else, immediately pulled out my phone and Googled, how old is Noah from The Kissing Booth? Because we don't want to be lusting after real teenagers. Just fake teenagers who are really grown men in real life. The cuteness of the Lee and Elle dynamic in the first half of the movie really makes up for a lot of the problems of the first half of the movie. Second half of the movie has way less problems in terms of, am I a bad feminist? It has some other story problems, the rainstorm, which we'll get to, but it does have a lot less cringy moments for me. They go to school, and unfortunately her pants broke, and in a hilarious fashion, everyone's asking about her backups to the backups, which the joke just kept reoccurring, and every time it reoccurred, I laughed because it was hilarious. So she gets to school, and an older, larger male student slaps her on the ass. Now, if he had been established as a really good friend of hers and it was clear that this was a joke and she was not uncomfortable with it, I would have been like, I have many a time slapped the rears of my friends and have had my rear slapped in return. However, in this movie, he's clearly not friends with them. She's clearly incredibly uncomfortable. Her best friend is so uncomfortable he's willing to fight for it, even though he's clearly not a fighter. And not only does he not apologize, he then is about to beat the crap out of Tiny Flynn until Noah comes and saves the day. And then she's mad at Noah for fighting, whereas I maybe am a little bit more vindictive. I don't know, but I would have been kicking that dude while he was on the ground and throwing a smoothie in his face. The three of them get called into the office, and here is where one of my biggest things is if you have a movie with teenage people and teenage girls who are getting physically assaulted, I think it's not a bad thing to show it because it does happen, and while he wasn't trying to drag her into a corner to rape her or anything, that is still harassment and assault when you do that and make someone so uncomfortable where they should be feeling safe at school. He goes into the principal's office, and he comes out, and when she goes into the principal's office, he says, oh, we're gonna treat it with the seriousness that it is, or we're gonna take care of it, or something like that. And then all he gives is that guy is detention. So what he's telling her is, you wearing a short skirt that's not allowed in the school dress code is the same as another student physically assaulting you and harassing you, which is just a horrible precedent. The principal is so uncomfortable when she says, I'm upset he touched my lady bum, and he's like, oh, well, you know, we're gonna... And that's exactly how a lot of people deal with this, and which is why so many people don't come forward, which is ridiculous. If you're a principal of a school and you're watching this, hi, my name is Bridget, and I'm telling you right now, if someone assaults a student, they need to at least get suspended, possibly expelled, depending on the severity. They certainly need more than detention. And then even crazier is they have detention that same day, and you put them in the same detention. So now not only did she just have a humiliating first day of school, got assaulted, got harassed, got detention herself for violating the dress code, and now she's in detention with the guy who was harassing her, who I again say is an older, way bigger male student. Seems wrong. Seems wrong. And then Elle. I was team Elle, and then all of a sudden now you're accepting his flirty apology, you're flirting back with him, and Noah's there giving you the scowl, and you're like, what? And I'm like, team Noah. Noah is right. That guy is a douchebag, and you should not be flirting with him, Elle. Now, I understand that you wish you were flirting with Noah, and at this point in the story, he has not admitted he has feelings for you. Maybe he doesn't know he does yet, but I tell you right now, Tuppin's not for you. He's a terrible person. Now, this is not to say that you could not forgive him in the future, or even possibly date him in the future, but I think on the same date is a little bit too soon. So he asks her to go out with him, and she, of course, consults her best friend, because that is what all of us do. We immediately call our best friend and say, so-and-so asked me out, what do I do? He has feelings for me, what do I do? I did the same thing with my husband. I called my mom, I called my sister, called my best friend. I was like, I need to know what is happening. And the fact that he's like, I think you should go out with him, like, you gotta go out with someone sometime, and she's like, right? And their chemistry is so charming, you forget that he's saying, sure, go out with the guy who just assaulted you this morning and was threatening to kick my ass, and my older brother had to come save me by kicking his ass. That just happened that day. I want everyone to remember it. Timeline is important in this, right? That happened that day. So then they end up going on a date in which she wears the most ridiculous sparkly dress ever. This is not prom. You are not 25 years old. You are a 16-year-old girl. Why couldn't you have just worn, like, cute girl outfit? She gets there, he stands her up, and it turns out that he stands her up because Noah says, do not go to that date, and has been warning all these boys off of her. Which is, like, super controlling and weird, but also, like, again, I'm kind of on Team Noah, because this guy is the worst. So, like, you probably shouldn't be going out with him. But it's, of course, all okay, because this gives her a reason to call Noah and yell at him on the phone, and us a reason to view him shirtless once again, as he smirks and laughs at her on the phone call, saying he's going to control her life, while she's saying, you're not going to control my life. And thus starts the friction that leads to their eventual romance. Now, the movie is about a kissing booth, and a kissing booth at a carnival. And when is that carnival, you ask? Well, let me tell you. As far as I can tell, it's 3 weeks into the school year. We are at this carnival, the kissing booth is set up, and this is like one little minor moment, but how is it that no one wants to kiss Lee? Like, when he actually gets up on the kissing booth and she says, look, I said a Flynn would be here. I just didn't say it would be Noah Flynn. It turns out it's Lee. And all the girls get out of line. I get that Noah is like a hot slice, but Lee is hysterical and charismatic and so funny and so nice, and I would have loved to be kissing him in high school. And I'm pretty sure most people would have loved to be kissing Lee in high school. That's where the movie lost me for a moment. Elle goes up to Noah and says, you know, it'd mean a lot to me if you did the kissing booth, or at least if you just, like, dropped by. I think people would get a kick out of it. And he's all, oh, little Elle, trying to get my help. And he's just, like, such a D-bag. And I get it. He's now realized he's in love with her, and he's trying to put up his little defenses. But don't you make her eyes well up with tears, Noah. Don't you do it. It is sad enough. He does, of course, eventually stop by. And because she tricked the OMGs, the super popular bitchy girls, who they just went hard into that cliche. You're super hot, so you're super mean. Duh. They don't want to kiss one of the nerdy boys in school, who, if you look carefully at the kissing booth montage moments before, already kissed one of them, so it makes no sense. But I appreciate that he got back in line. You get those kisses, boy. You get that money to charity and you get those kisses. So he's at the front of the line. They get Elle to go out. And of course, he's a sweet guy, so he offers Noah cutsies and lets him cut in line. So now Noah is first. So the evil girl's plot is foiled, and now our heroine and hero get to kiss for the first time. And she's just babbling like a lunatic about how she's never been kissed before, and oh, it almost happened here, and it almost happened there, and he's just chuckling at her, and finally he just lays one on her. And of course, in her voiceover, she's like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then she goes, wait. As if you could tell it was him from the kiss. Only in a movie. Because if you were blindfolded and people were kissing you and that you had never kissed before, I don't believe that you could know that it was them. Feel free to comment below and tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I'm pretty positive you would not have known. It could have been any boy in school. But she knows it's him, and she pulls her little mask off, and then they look at it into the big eyes. She's got those big eyes. And then, of course, they just, like, have the make-out to end all make-outs. The 360 kiss cam that's in every rom-com starts circling. And the funniest thing in the entire world is the light bulbs of the kissing booth sign start exploding, but only in like this imaginary kiss land, because they're not exploded in real life, obviously. But they're exploding and they're like laughing and looking at each other, and I was so there for it. There's a lot of bad shit we have to deal with in normal life. There's a lot of things that can bring you down, and if you want to escape and have a great time, like we want to escape to the max. And I appreciated this moment because they just went to the max. They even did the double impact kiss. So if you've ever watched a Jackie Chan movie from China, what it is the editing where you see the hit and then it cuts to a new angle and then you see the hit again. So it's like a double impact. They did that. You see the kiss and then it cuts to a new angle and you see the lips hit again. So it's like extra bang for your buck. So great.